Alright guys, so I figured I'd do a quick video before work, and this is actually something you guys voted on over on Patreon. And as always, if you want to be part of the polls and whatnot, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, and hit the link below, and if you hit the 4th tier, you can send me requests for videos to do here on Patreon. But if you just want to join in the polls and even look at my movie reviews, you can just hit the 1st tier, which is like only $5 a month. So, yeah. Anyway, so this one was actually close, and the runner-up might actually get a video because I do have like an idea for that one, and that one might get a video down the line. We'll see how I feel. But yeah, this was part of another three-way crossover poll, and this one actually it was actually in the running with another one, and it only won by 1 vote. So yeah, this was actually like really close, and I legit thought that it was going, like, the other one was going to win, and then this one won by 1 vote, by a tiebreaker. So yeah. Anyway, so as you can see from the title, we have our winner, which is Tekken, Killing Bites, and Batman. So we have a 3-way crossover between those, and yeah, it beat out the runner-up, which was Halloween, X-Files, and Supernatural. The other ones were Randy Cunningham, TMNT, and G.I. Joe, Street Fighter, Evil Dead, and Danganronpa, Puppet Master, Gravity Falls, and Resident Evil, and finally Hellraiser, Reanimator, and Gargoyles. So yeah. So let's get into this 3-way crossover between Killing Bites, Batman, and Tekken. So in this story, we start out in Gotham, and Batman is actually gotten a call about an abduction. But it's more of who got abducted. And that person is, Commissioner Gordon tells him it was Kirk Langstrom, Man-Bat. Yeah, so Francine, his wife, basically her and Kirk were at home, and then these heavily armored people broke into their house and kidnapped Kirk and took off. So that's concerning that that Man-Bat's been kidnapped. And then around that same time, when Batman's investigating the disappearance of Kirk, there's an attack on there's a break-in at Arkham, and Killer Croc has been abducted. So now it's now getting very concerning for Batman, because it's literally 2 people, like one is a villain and one is a kind of ally. So now Batman's really like wondering what's going on. And then when he gets images from Arkham, he sees like these people, these guys have a very kind of interesting armor to them, and he reveals it's the Tekken Force, and they work for the Mishima Zaibatsu. So Batman's only heard of the Zaibatsu, like most of the Mishima Zaibatsu. He knows that they're the head of the Iron Fist tournament, and he hasn't really collaborated with them because it always seems like that family is constantly in flux. Like, Heihachi, Kazuya, and Jin are all kind of like fighting over the ownership of the Zaibatsu. He's like, I only met Heihachi once, and I never wanted to do that again. He knows that they're all great fighters. He doesn't he has heard rumors that Jin and Kazuya may be metahumans, but he doesn't know fully about the Devil Gene. But now that they've taken Croc and Langstrom, Croc and Man-Bat, Batman now has to like go to Japan to figure, to find Waylon and Kirk. And Alfred, Robin, Damian goes, well, why would you want to save Jones? Why would you want to save Waylon? Langstrom, I get, Dad. Like, he's like, I get why you'd want to save Langstrom. He's kind of a friend. He's not. The Man-Bat is part of the Justice League, of Diana's Justice League. I get that. But why do you want to? But Langstrom literally like has done nothing for us. Excuse me, not Langstrom. Jones is a fucking murderer and a cannibal. Like, I understand like getting Langstrom but Croc, just let him die. And Batman's like, that's not how we do things. So Batman goes, and he's like, you know, Damian, you stay here. I will go to Japan, or rather, Bruce Wayne will go to Japan, and they go. While Damian is left here in Gotham to protect it, Batman and Bruce and Alfred go out to, not Alfred, excuse me. Bruce goes to, Japan and meets with, he goes to the he meets with the Mishima Zaibatsu, and at the time it is Jin who is in charge now, and Jin is basically like, you know, Mr. Wayne, I've heard so many things about you, you know, welcome to Japan. It's I'm sure you'll find your stay very humbling and all that. And he's like, yes, Mr. Kazama, I've heard that you've recently taken over your father's and grandfather's company. I'm wondering what that, you know, how you acquired it. And he's like, it's a long story, and I have no intention of talking about it. So it's actually like there's going to be a new Iron Fist tournament coming very soon, and Jin offers, like, maybe you should join. Like, maybe you should join us in the festivities and watch. You'll probably place a bet on a you know, a good fighter. And he's like, maybe. Like, Bruce is like, maybe, I don't know. I'm just here on a vacation. I barely ever get to come to Japan. And Gene is like, whatever, all right. Go about your business, Mr. Wayne. I do hope you enjoy yourself. So yeah, then it's Batman time, and Batman is more or less breaking into the Mishima Zaibatsu to find Croc and Man-Bat. But however, someone else is there and has already beaten him to the punch and is tearing ass through the Tekken force, and that is Hitomi. Hitomi has been literally ripping her way Wolverine style through the Mishima Zaibatsu science complex, and is already, like, ripping through people. And when she encounters Batman, she's already like, oh, another one. So the two fight until Batman and her smash through a science lab and discover Jones and Langstrom in stasis tubes being experimented on. It turns out that Jean is basically has stolen Croc and Langstrom, Jones and Langstrom, in order to harvest their DNA to make his own Theraanthropes for the Killing Bites tournament. Yeah, the Mishima Zaibatsu wants to get in on the tournament, but here's the thing. Jin sees a potential enemy in the other Zaibatsus. So he wanted to create his own Theraanthropes in order to destroy them. And you maybe think, well, Jin would never do that. Have you seen the recent games of what Jin will go to? So Jin, rather than wanting to fight, like, his father and, you know, Heihachi and the other Zaibatsus, because he's already getting the sense that he's still new at being the head of the Mishima Zaibatsu, so he's already like, I need to quell this. I need to cut the head off of the snake before it gets too late. Like, I need to cut off this snake now, and then I can focus on my father and my grandfather. So he more or less wanted very strong DNA to sequence for a Theraanthrope, and what better one than, you know, what they have in Gotham. You know, obviously he wanted Langstrom first and foremost, but then, like, Croc, his mutation, his skin disease has kind of, like, genetically been altered several times over already, so why not take that as well? He's also been, like, experimenting on Venom, on the Venom drug. So yeah, he wanted to make his own Theraanthropes. So, and Hitomi was sent by Mr. Shindo in order to, she was sent by Mr. Shindo to destroy everything. Like, basically kill everyone and keep Kazama out of, the Killing Bites tournament. So that's why Hitomi was here. So now Batman and Hitomi, and, like, Batman's like, okay, so there's one secret tournament with metahumans, And then there's this fucking, what the fuck? Like, what is up, you know, what is going on in Japan? I don't get it. So Batman breaks out Man-Bat and Killer Croc, and Hitomi's like, I'll kill him. Like, you know, they're your enemies. Like, why would you help them? And Batman's like, you don't get to do that on my watch. But by that point, Jin unleashes a Jack unit, a Jack android. So the two have to battle him, you know, battle the Jack. And it's also revealed that Jin was working with a third part, with another partner. And that partner has some very interested, like, that's the one who kind of pushed Jin into going to war with Shido and the other Zaibatsus of the Killing Bites tournament, and more or less convinced him that they were an enemy so he could fight them, and then get back to focusing on on Kazuya and Heihachi. That person was Yuya. If you know your Killing Bites, then that was you know, Hitomi's friend who she gutted at the end of the show, and it kind of left off with him creating his own Theranosthopes to fight Hitomi. So yeah, in this one, so yeah, he more or less convinced what he really wants, what Yuya really wanted, was a all-out war between the Zaibatsus, and the Mishima Zaibatsu had enough money and technology and power to not only create their own Theranosthopes, but also have the power to go to war and possibly just wreck the other Zaibatsus. So and also, like, what better DNA sequences would be for warriors would be Croc and Man-Bat. So, yeah. So by the end of it, they save him. Yuya escapes, but he does swear vengeance on Hitomi. Like, he basically says, I'm not done with you yet, bitch. And Jin is basically covers his ass on the whole thing, on the kidnapping deal, and Batman brings Croc and Man-Bat back home to Gotham. So there you go, guys. That is my three-way crossover between Tekken, Killing Bites, and, yeah, Batman, Tekken, and Killing Bites. So you guys tell me in the comments below. What did you guys think of it? Like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. As always, if you haven't already, hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon. Other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.